Top of the first, it's Ricky Jordan staking the Phils to a 1-0 lead. He turns on the oil can pitch, drilling a triple off the left field wall. In to score is John Kruk, and head first into third is Jordan with a triple, who stays down briefly, but it's just dirt in the eye. But the story of the game is 24-year-old right-hander Tommy Greene making his second start of the season. He goes the distance with his first major league no-hitter. Here in the bottom of the first, he strikes out Marquise Grissom for his first strikeout. His counterpart, Oil Can Boyd, kept the Expos in the thick of it, giving up just 1 run through 8 innings. Here he retires the side in the fourth, getting John Morris to look at strike 3. In the home sixth, Delino DeShields walked and stole second, but his luck ran out at third. Darren Fletcher guns him down at third, erasing the Expo runner and moving Greene 1 out closer to the no-hitter. Greene entered the game with a 4-5 career record and came to the Phillies from Atlanta last August in the Dale Murphy deal. Fletcher's throw gave Greene the lift he needed to get out of the sixth. Here he ends the threat by striking out Andres Galarraga, his 7th strikeout through the first 6 innings. In the top of the 8th, the Phils try to add an insurance run, but Ivan Calderon makes a nice leaping catch at the wall to rob Ricky Jordan of extra bases. In the top of the 9th, with Scott Ruskin on the mound, the Phils do get that insurance run. Darren Fletcher doubles just before a diving Ivan Calderon. That makes the score 2-0, as on to score is Von Hayes as he goes home with the Phils' second run. There to meet him is a preoccupied Tommy Greene with just one thought on his mind, and that's 3 outs in the 9th inning. With 1 out in the 9th, he gets Andres Galarraga on strikes again. Strikeout number 10 for Greene as the bat goes flying back to the backstop out of control. Firmly in control was Greene, and with 2 outs, Tim Wallach at the plate. A sharp comebacker right to Greene, who makes the sure grab, throws to Ricky Jordan, and Greene has the no-hitters. The Phils win 2-0. Greene goes 9 innings, walking 7, striking out 10, but issuing no hits. Throw the no-no was Greene's teammate Terry Mulholland last August. Following are remarks Greene made to Phillies announcer Richie Ashburn.
Thursday night in Atlanta, Pete Smith is on the mound for the Braves for the first time since coming back from arm surgery last season. He got in trouble against the Padres in the first inning. Tony Gwynn hits a double to center field that scores Tony Fernandez, making the score 1-0 San Diego. Still in the first, Benito Santiago comes to the plate, and Santiago hits a single. This scores Gwynn, giving the Padres a 2-run lead. In the bottom of the third inning, the Braves got one back. Dave Justice hits a single to right field. Otis Nixon comes in to score, and that cut the lead down to 2-1. Then in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Braves scored 3. First, Danny Heap hits a pinch hit single to center field that scores Greg Olson, making the score 2-2. Then Adam Peterson is trying to throw an intentional ball, but he throws a wild pitch that scores Mark Lemke and makes it 3-2. The Braves led 5-3 after 7. Now in the top of the 8th inning, Scott Coolbaugh drives a triple to right center field. Dave Justice loses his balance out here. Thomas Howard comes in to score, making the score 5-4. Still in the top of the 8th inning, Gerald Clark comes to the plate, and he hits a single to center field that scores Coolbaugh and ties the game up at 5. Before the inning was over, Bip Roberts came up, and he also hits a single. This one goes to left field. Darren Jackson comes in to score as Otis Nixon bobbles the ball. That made the score 6-5 Padres. So now I think the game is over, but no, in the bottom of the 9th inning, Greg Olson comes to the plate, and he hits a sacrifice fly that scores Dave Justice and ties the game up at 6, sending it into extra innings. The Braves set out to put a stop to this in the top of the 10th inning. Tom Lampkin will hit a single up the middle here. That scores Scott Coolbaugh and makes the score 7-6 San Diego. 2 runs later, Tony Gwynn will hit a ground ball double down the right field line that scores Tony Fernandez, the 3rd time Gwynn knocked in Fernandez in the game, and that made the score 10-6 San Diego. And then I really thought the game was over, but no. The Braves got one back on a sacrifice fly, and then Dave Justice hit a 3-run home run to right field, scoring Treadway and Nixon, tying the game up once again, this time at 10 apiece. That was the 4th home run of the season for Justice. It remained tied at 10 until the top of the 12th inning, when Darren Jackson hit his second home run of the season, a solo shot to left field that made it 11-10 San Diego, and that did turn out to be the final score. In the bottom of the 12th, Ron Gant tried to get things started, but Tony Fernandez robbed him with a great leaping catch. The Padres win it 11-10 in 12 innings. Art Howe and the Houston Astros are hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers. Both pitchers start out well. Here, Houston starter Xavier Hernandez strikes out Brett Butler in the first inning. Butler looks like he was fooled badly on the pitch, and he loses the bat. In the bottom of the first inning, Tim Belcher will strike out Ken Caminiti. Steve Finley is running from second base, and Mike Scioscia throws him out stealing. Now in the bottom of the third inning, Belcher gets some help from second baseman Juan Samuel. On the ground ball hit by Gonzalez, Samuel makes a nice backhand play and throws out Gonzalez at first. There was no score after 3 innings of play. The Dodgers got on the board first in the fourth inning. Lenny Harris hit a single up the middle that scored Eddie Murray, making the score 1-0 LA. It remained 1-0 until the top of the sixth inning, and then it was Harris again, as you'll see momentarily, coming up with almost an identical hit. Once again, he goes up the middle with it, and Strawberry comes in to score, making the score 2-0 Dodgers, and that's how it stood in the sixth. All things of interest then ceased to happen in this game, so I'm going to show you a ground out. Tim Belcher pitched 7 2/3 innings, allowing no runs on 6 hits, and here he gets Steve Finley to ground out to end the seventh. It was still 2-0 Dodgers. Thank God for Ken Caminiti providing at least some excitement in this game. In the top of the ninth inning, he makes a nice defensive play on the one hopper by Eddie Murray. That ended the top of the ninth. The Dodgers went on to win the game by a final of 2-0. Here in the bottom of the ninth inning, you'll see Jay Howell, who came in to pitch just the ninth. He gets Casey Candell to fly out to center field to end the game. The winning pitcher was Belcher. He's 4-4. The loser, Hernandez, is 0-4. Howell picks up his 8th save. Once again, the final score, 2-0 Dodgers.
In New York on a Thursday evening, the New York Mets are hosting the Chicago Cubs. And the first inning of play has Howard Johnson at the plate against Sean Bosky, the starter for Chicago. Hojo single to right field, scores Keith Miller. It's 1-0 Mets. Hubie Brooks slides into third base. With Brooks on third, Hojo leading off first. Hojo steals second in the same inning, and Damon Berryhill's throw goes into center field, enabling Brooks to score, and the Mets led 2-0 after 1. Top of the third inning, Ron Darling pitching to Shawan Dunston of the Cubs. Dunston hits one. He gets all of it. His 5th homer of the year into the Cub bullpen. It's a solo blast, and it's now 2-1 New York over Chicago. Doug DeCenzo makes the play of the day, or does he? In the bottom of the third inning off of Vince Coleman, this is a great diving play by DeCenzo. Take a look at the replay. You may see a little ball on the little grass and a little white showing, but nonetheless, this is an out, and it's highway robbery. Damon Berryhill bats, top of the 4th inning. Base hit double that Hubie Brooks can't get. Andre Dawson scores RBI, and it's a 2-all contest through 4. With Hubie Brooks at the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning against Sean Bosky, the starter for Chicago, Brooks gets a single into left field. George Bell has trouble picking up the ball. Keith Miller scores on the play, and that makes it 3-2 New York. But Sean Dunston against Ron Darling in the top of the 7th answers back with a triple to right field just past Hubie Brooks. And Luis Salazar scores easy. Dunston is stranded at third base. It's 3-3 in the 8th now. And now in the 9th. And here's the anatomy of the Cub 9th inning. It's a leadoff infield single, it's called, by Luis Salazar as Kevin Elster bobbles the ball. Then John Franco pitching to Sean Dunston. It's a double play, right? Wrong. Only a force at second base as that goes awry. And then Hector Villanueva with the ground ball. Kevin Elster's throw is in the dirt, goes past Dave Magadan. Sean Dunston goes to third on the plate. Third and first one out in the tie game. Doug DeCenzo comes to the plate. Chuck Cartier would flash the squeeze sign on 3-1. It's fouled off. So with 3-2, what do? They try it again. Dunston breaks, the bunt is laid down, and it's successful. And the Cubs go in front 4-3 in the 9th inning. They hold on for that victory. Paul Ossenmacher, with Bill Murray looking on, gets the Mets out 1-2-3 in the 9th for his 4th save of the year. And John Franco takes the tough luck loss at 1-3. And look at Jim Essien. He likes the final out. And Les Lancaster wins it in relief. He's 1-1. Thursday night to take on the A's. We start in the top of the first inning. Lance Johnson loops a single to left center field, scoring Tim Raines from third base, and this gave Chicago a 1-0 lead. The White Sox scored one more run in the top of the first inning and led 2-0. Then in the bottom of the third inning, the A's scored their only run of the game. Jose Canseco's single to left field scores Dave Henderson from second base, making the score 2-1. RBI number 20 for Canseco. But then in the top of the fifth inning, Frank Thomas at the plate. He would belt a double to the right center field gap, scoring Tim Raines and Robin Ventura. RBIs number 28 and 29 for Thomas, and this gave Chicago a 4-1 lead. Then later in the top of the fifth inning, Carlton Fisk would come through. He will ground a double down the left field line. This scores Frank Thomas from second base, RBI number 14 for Fisk, and the White Sox led 5-1 after 5 innings. Moving down to the top of the sixth inning, this young boy would see some nice defense from Mike Gallego, the second baseman for the A's. Here he fields Ozzie Guillen's grounder, then throws to first for the out. But then later in the top of the sixth inning, the White Sox score 2 more runs, and it's Frank Thomas again. Here he hits a single to left field, scoring Tim Raines and Lance Johnson. RBIs number 30 and 31 for Thomas. Thomas had 5 RBIs in this game, and Chicago led 7-1. Then in the top of the seventh inning, Ozzie Guillen lines a double to right field with the bases loaded, scoring Carlton Fisk and Sammy Sosa, and the White Sox led 9-1. And still later in the top of the seventh inning, Tim Raines, who went 4 for 4 in this game, will ground a single to left field, scoring Scott Fletcher from third base, and the White Sox led 10-1. They scored one more run in the top of the seventh inning and led 11-1. The starting and winning pitcher in this game, Greg Hibbard, went all the way, allowing 1 run on 5 hits. Here he gets Vance Law to ground out for the final out. The White Sox win 11-1. Greg Hibbard's the winner. He's 3-2. Andy Hawkins takes the loss. He's 1-3.
A rain delay in Milwaukee before the Brewers game against the Indians. Lightning knocked out the scoreboard. Once they did get underway in the top of the first inning, Albert Bell hit his 8th home run of the season, a 2-run shot to left field that scored Bo Allred, making the score 2-0 Cleveland. But Milwaukee came right back in the bottom of the first inning. First, Robin Yount will hit a single to left field through the shortstop area. That scores Paul Molitor, making the score 2-1. Franklin Stubbs then lines a single to right field. That scores Greg Brock, making it 2-2. Then B.J. Surhoff hits a single up the middle that scores Yount and Stubbs, making the score 4-2 Milwaukee. It was still 4-2 in the bottom of the second inning when Dante Bichette hit a single to left field. That scores Greg Brock and gives Milwaukee a 5-2 lead. They then made it 6-2 in the bottom of the fifth inning when Billy Spire's squeeze bunt brings Jim Gantner into score. So Milwaukee was up by 4. They increased that lead 1 run further in the bottom of the sixth inning when Bichette hit a solo home run to left field. This is his 5th home run of the season, and it made the score 7-2 Brewers. Cleveland got one back in the top of the 7th inning. Felix Fermin will hit a single to center field. This will bring Brooke Jacoby into score, making the score 7-3 Brewers, but that turned out to be the final score. In the top of the 9th inning, you'll see Darren Holmes getting Baerga to ground out to second. It goes off the chest of Willie Randolph, but he recovers and makes the play. The final 7-3 Milwaukee. August got the win. He's 3-2. The loser was Nagy. He's 1-4. Holmes picks up his 2nd save.